Hey guys, Neptune here, and this is Narrated Duels with Avelyn. Technically it's not the first episode, I also have the washing pole video where Scrubs went, "Oh my god, why do you kill people?" But this is the first video of me dueling with a proper voiceover. Now, this isn't obviously live because I have massive internet problems and I wanted to filter the footage to present you only the most interesting cases. And we start with this shit. Now, I'm retard because I forgot to record the in-game audio, but since I'm doing narration, it's kinda fine. Here I face Cardless Skirt Sword, and I'm perfectly fine with facing it because my setup is good against everything. I no scoped the guy here and tried to land the hand axe R1, but it turned out to be a trade, and I kind of forgot that I'm lagging like fuck. But normally you can do that because the recovery on Avelyn is super quick. This is one of the easiest setups to pull out on people, especially randoms at Pontiff, because people really underestimate how fast this shit is. So now I'm trying to play the range game and I'm baiting the dashing attack, which is very easy to whiff punish. He lets his guard here and takes Avelyn shot, but then he just mashes R1 like a pro player, and I take hits, which is perfectly fine. My bad, I was in the corner, I was doing shit. Now he decides to buff and I was like, what the hell are you doing, dude? And I don't know what the hell is he doing, honestly. He's trying to do something like trying to get in the range, and now he's gonna do the dashing attack, but then he just straight out whiffs smashing R1 and gets punished for it. But I don't know, Avelyn doesn't do that much damage, but it can chip very, very fast. Now, I would have loved to no-scope him here, but I ran out of explosive bolts, and the other guy just finishes the job for me. Well done, but as you will see later in the video, the guy comes back to face me again. But yeah, this guy killed the guy with the Murakuma, and then he swaps to the Karta Skirt Sword, which is what makes this footage extremely fun for you guys. So yeah, he's doing the block like a fucking pro player and trying to push into me, and then he rolls into me like a retard, and I'm doing the most casual setup ever. Because in this case, my latency to him is a lot better than to the other guy, so I can actually pull it off. So yeah, he takes a couple of more hits because people underestimate hand axe for some reason, and this is pretty normal Avelyn setup. Basically, you just alter between R1 and L1 and bait with either with R1 to into the Avelyn or reverse with the Avelyn with into the hand axe. I'm just running away to make him do the dashing attack again. Here I don't know how I didn't even trade because I pressed R1, but he was just somehow faster, but fuck the lag. People that roll into me are just like, I don't understand in general. It doesn't even apply to the hand axe or Avelyn. Just people that roll into me are just gonna get wrecked because it doesn't take anything. You just press R1 and they get wrecked. And this guy is actually back. And he's still using the Karta skirts or doing the stupid gestures and shit. Okay, I'm gonna face him again. Now the same shit applies as before, but now I know that my latency to him is complete dog shit, and he just rolls into me. This is why you need an offhand weapon with Avelyn, because people will try to push you, and when they do that, you just have to mash R1 and punish them. Now, that was not the best ring swap I ever did, but it kinda worked. It's not really necessary for me to swap rings, but just a kinda reflex. Now, I'll be honest, I don't play that much these days, so I'm kinda rusty on that, but it get the job done. Yeah, the Karta Skirt Sword is not much of a problem as long as people do dashing attacks and stupid shit. I guess I'll just stop trying to read my opponents because it's pointless. You can't really read when there's nothing behind it. And instead I'll focus on saying what I do. And this is basically the essence of Dark Souls 3. You just bait whiffs and punish them. And like, for an average heavy weapon user, they really like to swing a thin air, and as you can see, you don't really even have to be close if you're using Avelyn to punish those whiffs, so it's basically an easy mode for me. Oh, by the way, something that I want to mention is that my setup that I'm currently using is really bad. Because I'm using Avelyn in my main hand, and this is a kind of a habit of mine because I was using it with S-Stock in the offhand, back when the S-Stock was actually faster in offhand than in main hand. And I kinda don't want to switch right now because I got used to the layout, but yeah, it's a bad setup, because if you face a good player that actually goes up your face, you don't have a rolling attack and you get wrecked. But yeah, against slow ass weapons, especially used by average players that like to swing it in air and do like weird shit. Avelyn is literally the best weapon you can have. And if you noticed, I'm using the same very simple setup. I basically do a no scope with Avelyn using the explosive bolts, and it doesn't really matter if I land it or not. People just roll into me and I just wreck them with the hand axe, and hand axe is a fucking beast. You can spam R1 like nothing else and it gets people killed so easily. Now this guy, I've included this guy to show you how bad the dashing attack is and how like completely screwed people are that can't zone in against Avelyn. Oh, this guy is trying to zone in with the dashing attack, and it's super easy to just step back and punish it. Like if you have a Cardless Curse Sword or something with a long range, you can just step back. But if you have Avelyn, you literally just don't care. I can run around unlocked, and his zoning is completely screwed because he's trying to use the dashing attack to zone in, and he gets completely wrecked. This is what happens to people that try to zone in with dashing attack. Now this right here is a completely fucking skewed matchup. Like, crossbows are useless against shields, and you don't even have to have a Black Knight shield like this guy has. Any shield will do, you can just block everything and completely not care about it. But this guy's kind of an average player, he's doing the stupid dashing attack trying to zone in and rolls and shit, so my setups still are pretty much intact. Like, as soon as I no scope him, I force him to roll into me and I just mash hand axe, and he's using a straight sword and you can't win a R1 mash game against the hand axe with it, because hand axe can do like 12 swings in a row and I still have stamina to roll away. So playing aggressive against that passive setup I'm running is really bad idea, and he's not really using the shield properly. As you can see, he's releasing it at the moment I'm trying to attack, and this is pretty much all I need. I'm using Avelyn in this case as a bait to make him roll into me or just release the shield block or just try to attack me, and it works very well, as I've said, against an average player, even though this setup is clearly in his favor. I still managed to snatch the win because that's me. This guy was pain in the ass. I mean, normally he wouldn't be pain in the ass because I could just swap to the deep weapon and just smash the R1 and get the fuck out through the shield. But I don't have a deep hand axe, and like Avelyn has only 30 explosive bolts, and I can't swap a weapon for obvious reasons because this is the video that is dedicated to Avelyn and this setup. So he was pain in the ass. Like, when I said in the previous duel that shields are a fucking hardest matchup for Avelyn, I meant it. In the beginning, he's using the Black Knight glaive with his shield, and I have 30 exploding bolts, so it's fucking cake for me. He's trying to do dashing attack and all that shit, but it really doesn't work with the glaive, and he swaps to the rapier. And you can really block with this shield, because like normally with the Black Knight shield, like any medium shield, you can't really block. Ask any good player that uses shield, you can't block hits in Dark Souls 3, because ideally you just want to roll away. But with this shield he can block pretty much everything I give to him. And I was cheaping nicely with the explosive bolts, but the problem with explosive bolts and the Avelyn is it's just 3 bolts, which is absolutely cool. But there's only 30 in your arsenal and you're gonna run out of them really quick, which has happened in this case. Now he has wasted a lot of his time using the glaive, but I don't know, it was his choice. I think he played really well, like one of the better opponents I've seen during this session. But yeah, he swaps to the rapier later on, and this is where I had problems. And technically the only reason why I have problems is because I just run out of the explosive bolts to chip through the shield. And I can't swap to the deep weapon for obvious reasons, and he kinda tried to actually use that fact, and he did it, I think, semi-decently, but it worked really well. And I even started to lose my composure. Now you guys are gonna be butthurt because this duel is like 6 minutes long, but I still included it because it's a rare occasion of people at Pontiff giving me a good run. Now there is lag, there is some visible lag, and it kinda ruined it a bit, but I can't really get rid of it completely, so I've decided to keep the duel because fuck it. As you can see, he swaps to the rapier, and I'm like on last of my explosive bolts, and this is where problems start for this setup. As I've said before, shield is really bad matchup for Avelyn, and you will see why, because he really does a good job of trying to not give up and actually use the shield to his advantage. Now he tries the silly shit of like trading, but it doesn't really work well for him. And then he just swaps to like blocking until I give up and then attacking, and it kinda actually works for him. Now I'm trying to use the Avelyn shots to catch rolls because it's actually a pretty good roll catch opening, but it doesn't really work because he has a shield. He can just block on the wake up and I'll never get through it. Now I catch his roll in here and kind of felt dirty because it wasn't clean even on my hit. But yeah, I started to reload. Like I derped really hard in here. I double pressed the R1 for some retarded reason and I started reloading in his face and he took the opportunity and just punished me. Now he punishes me here again. First, I mean both hits were legit, but you can see the amount of lag I'm having to put with. But I don't think overall it did affect the duel. I'm trying hard to like push him, but he just doesn't really care. He can just block everything and roll away when he's out of stamina, which happens pretty rarely because he uses actually a good shield. I'm like out of options, and because I have this shitty setup with Avelyn in my main hand, I can't backstab him. It would have been 10 times easier. I would have killed him just easily. I could have just straight backstab his ass, but because I have hand axe in my offhand, I can't do that. And if you're gonna try this setup, just do it the right way and have like Avelyn in offhand and hand axe in main hand. So yeah, I'm really desperate, trying to push him, trying to like bait a mistimed roll or anything, but he just does not give up, which is extremely awesome. Like, people rarely give me a fair fight at Pontiff, but this guy clearly wanted to win. Now he gets me here, like an occasional poke. I'm starting to lose my patience, because shield is much like Avelyn, forces people to play aggressive. Now at this point I actually noticed that he starts regenerating his health at pretty alarming rate, and this is another problem in Dark Souls 3, regen. Regen is fucking cancerous in this game, I'm telling you this. So I just decide to back off a bit, swap my rings and try to play passive. Now I'm kinda low health and I wanted to swap to the red tier stone ring, but then I realized if I'm gonna sit and play patient, I might just well swap to the Sun Princess and just try to regen again. Now he gets a hit later on and I contemplate swapping to red tier stone ring, and I decide to go for it because at this point we were like one hit away from death, both of us. He's actually doing pretty well without any whiffs, which surprised me. I mean, guy clearly knows how to use his shit, which is kinda baffling as to why he used the Black Knight Glaive in the beginning, I don't know, but... So at this point I'm fishing for a whiff or dashing attack or something, and I get what I want. My passiveness kinda pays off, and he whiffs. Now I land all 3 bolts with Avelyn, as you can see it hit him pretty hard. Now I don't have a Leering, but it would have probably killed him with Leering. He gets a shield poke in here, and I'm kinda pissed because shield pokes are fucking annoying. And here I ran out of stamina, and he gets another one. I'm really glad they don't do that much damage. At this point I'm thinking about swapping to the red tier stone ring so that I can kill him with a knife or 1 bolt. And here he whiffs the shield poke, and like Estelle has been known for whiffing those. Unfortunate, but GG, he deserves the bow. And then we have this guy. Now, I've tried to get a lot of footage against shields because it's a bad matchup for Avelyn. This guy is like worst shield player ever, worse than previous guys. He tries to push me and I just mash the hand axe like it's nothing. He tries to shield poke and gets wrecked. Now obviously I can't riposte him because I'm retard with Avelyn in my main hand, but it doesn't matter, he just panic rolls and just gets wrecked. Yeah, don't play with the shield like that. And now we're into mages, and mages are fucking pathetic in this game, and like random mages are even more pathetic. They all do this generic soul masses and backstabs, and I'm pretty sure they don't even know why they're doing this. And then if you have Avelyn, they're even more pathetic because you can punish pretty much everything, no matter what they cast. You're just gonna be faster on it. And as you can see, this guy gets fucking wrecked. Keeps doing stupid shit like swinging in thin air and then rolling into me like it's nothing. I punish the soul arrow, and this is what I mean. Like, there's nothing you can really cast without me being able to punish it. It ends with a simple no scope and the fucking hand axe swing. So yeah. Then there's this guy that also uses magic. And I honestly feel right attacking him here because it's a fucking offensive spell. No way. But yeah, he's a bit better in the sense that he doesn't really use magic that much. So I can't really show off how good Avelyn is against everything you can cast. But you can just trust me, he's trying to chase me with a dashing attack. And by now I think you know what that means. I'll just safely backpedal and punish the whiff with ease. It doesn't really take much. And by now I guess you already know that those simple setups really work well against random players. So I no scope him and he does what everyone does, rolls into me, but for some retarded reason a Dark Souls 1 habit strikes me and I just unlock. This makes me whiff all the hits, but then I just basically make up by mashing the R1, which he did not expect. Then he just whiffs again with the rapier and gets wrecked with the Avelyn. And this is some bonus footage for you, the katana guy. Now I've tried to get some decent katana duels, but there were no decent players that used katanas at Pontiff. They were all like this guy, unpredictable dashing that is extremely damn predictable, and it's very easy for Avelyn and me to just backpedal and punish those dashing attacks. But he's using one-handed katana that basically does no damage, so I don't know, he thinks he knows what he's doing, but he does really not know what he's doing. So yeah, I'm doing the same simple shit. I just shoot the Avelyn and mash the hand axe, he rolls right into it, then tries to parry me 2 times, but afterwards he just realizes that his chances are very, very slim, so he just commits Sudoku by rolling off the cliff. I guess people can't handle the meta. Wait, what? I'm not using any meta weapons. So my final thoughts regarding the Avelyn crossbows and all that good stuff. I think the crossbows are very competitive. The class is very competitive. Not even like against average players, but against good players as well, because it's a perfect deterrent. I think it's better than a shield as a deterrent. And the class itself is very well balanced, because in certain situations, like if you're not looking for no scopes, and if you're looking for whiff punishes exclusively, Arbalest with Luring would certainly outperform the Avelyn. But yeah, as long as you can bait the whiffs, as long as you can do those silly setups that somehow still get people to roll into you and just wrecked, you're gonna have a very good time using Avelyn in PvP. With all that being said, I want to talk a bit about the format itself. This is the format I like using because I think montages are very boring and duels that were shot in one go are very limited. I really like to collect the footage and then filter it so I can show off my setup against multiple other setups, because this gives you a better overview of what my line of thinking is and how I operate, and yeah, it gives you a better insight in general. Now this is the longest video I've uploaded yet, and it's a real pain for me to upload videos that long because my internet is a crap. But I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you did enjoy watching it. If you did, feel free to leave all the suggestions as to what weapon I should use next, and I will probably deliver. But yeah guys, thank you for watching, and as usual, I'll see you next time.